What It Takes Radio Company welcomes you back to part 2 of Interesting Ideas and the Transformation Project. Welcome to the Transformation Zone. And here's part 2. You took the challenge to be one of the 3% of the population who can do what it takes. Here are more of the questions that can help you do just that. Greetings once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stan, the Coach Man, the Transformation Guide, leader of, no, not the leader of, one of the colleagues who are coming to you to help you perhaps live differently, maybe choose differently, be involved in doing some significant work, perhaps being a guide to transforming at least a part of the world, at least maybe your part of the world, the organization you're in, or perhaps you're going to just be able to keep it at home and live a better life, a transformed life. Well, we are in the business of helping people understand how they can do that and how they can pass that good stuff on to others. That's what we're all involved in the Transformation Project, the Transformation Zone. A group of us are coming together to see if we can do it for each other and then do it for you. Now, I began this little conversation last time by introducing the idea of being one of the 3% of the population. Then, of course, going from being one of the 3% of the population to finding out if we really are, if we really have what it takes. And I said with a smile and perhaps a little exaggeration that if you knew the answers to these 20 questions, you certainly are some of, maybe one of the most focused persons on planet Earth today. So if you'd like to find out what the top 3 were and the significant 7 were, you go back to episode 1 in this little 20 question series. Today we continue with question number 8 and going through 5 or 6, maybe 7, and we'll see where that leads us. So here we go. Question number 8 of the 20. If you had 10 minutes to speak to the top 100 leaders in your industry, what would you tell them? That's right. Someone has asked you to speak to the leadership, to the peer leadership in your business, in your industry. There's something about what you have done or what you've become that has given you the privilege and the pleasure of doing that. And remember, our last question was, what kind of principles and practices and things that are important do you want to teach your children? Now, put it in a bigger world, a greater frame. Now you have 10 minutes, just 10 minutes to challenge them, perhaps encourage them, maybe coach them. If you had 10 minutes to speak to the top 100 leaders in your industry, what would you tell them? Think about that. First of all, you'd have to decide what really is important to you and what is important to them. And then how can you give them the kinds of counsel and advice in a short time that would get them to think, maybe challenge them, perhaps help them, perhaps them see things a little differently. Think about that. If you were given the opportunity to be a person of influence, a POW, a POI, a person of influence, a person of wisdom, what would you say to the top 100 leaders in your industry? Now, you probably will never win the lottery because that's a bad plan to try and make any money. But hey, what would you do if you were given $25 million tax-free and you could do anything you want with it? What would you do? Okay. Now, if you had to give away 5 million of it, who would you give it to and why? There you go. I don't know if that could ever happen to you. But if you actually had, because many of us say, well, if we had plenty of money, and 25 million is more than enough of plenty, and it's tax free, so you can do what you want with it. What would you do? How could you do something worthwhile? How could you do something good? What would you do? But you have to give 5 million of it away. Who would you give it to and why? And I would hope that it would not just be to a friend or a family member. You might actually expand the people who would benefit from your 5 million. What would that be? Okay, here we go. What goal? Let's say, obviously, you set goals. You set daily goals. You set weekly goals. You set monthly goals. You're one of the 3%. You're always making a list of things and always thinking about things that you could do, want to do, would like to do. What goal, which once you achieved it, would you give you the most leverage toward achieving your other worthwhile life goals? Maybe it is to make a certain amount of money. Maybe it would be to have a position of leadership. Um, Maybe it would be that you could be on the radio, that you had great speaking and teaching and broadcasting skills. That would give you a whole bunch of opportunities to achieve your goals. Let me think about that, or let me think with you on that. I would love to challenge you about that because that's how people oftentimes gain the kind of leverage they wanted. They made sure that they knew what would be the most worthwhile goal. It might be hard, it might be tough, it might not be necessarily something I would love to do, but if I could achieve that goal, it would give me the kinds of resources and leverage so that I could achieve other goals. Do you know what that goal is? Think about that. And that will cause you to think very strategically about your life and about your business today. Hey, have fun. Is there a song that could be your theme song? What is it? What's your theme song? Um, Frank Sinatra was supposedly known for, I did it my way. By the way, he didn't like that song very much. And in fact, at his memorial service, they didn't even sing it or play it. It wasn't his song and it wasn't his favorite one, but it's the one that made him a lot of money. But what about you? Give Thanks with a Grateful Heart is one of my songs from deep in my faith. You know, hey, uh, it's a gift to be simple. It's a gift to be free. It's a gift to come down where we want to be. And when we come down in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. The Shaker theme song. Think about that. What would be your theme song? And then can you explain why? Why would you like people uh, to do that? Because of that things that people have known about me, particularly the Shaker song, is I've gotten calls from time to time, and someone just called me up and said was thinking of you because they played what they said the Gift to Be Simple song, and I thought of you. What about you? What would be your theme song? If you could do absolutely anything you wanted, and the money, the time, the staff, the education were in place, and you knew you had a 100% chance of success, what would you do? Success will come your way if you can just decide and make the move. Now, it may not be easy, but a lot of the hard stuff has been taken away. money, time, education, everything is in place. And if you'll just do it, you'll have 100% chance of success. But what would you do? Because you have to know what you would do, and then you would have to do it. What would be that for you? I oftentimes say, this of course is what I talk about, interesting ideas. It is the ideas that people have that through blood, toil, tears, and sweat, and aspiration and ambition, that ideas become realities. And the realities then cause innovation, all kinds of experimentation, and then something new comes into being. Are you working on a daily basis trying to come up with ideas? What is your most original idea? You thought of it yourself. And it doesn't seem that you've found that anybody else has that idea. Do you believe you ever had an original idea? Have you ever thought about coming up with an original idea? What is your most original idea? And then what did you do with it? Yeah. Well, perhaps you've got something in mind. Well, why don't you explore it a little bit more? See if you can actually give it a little more firmness, a little more purpose, a little more direction, a little more reality. And then once you bring that into reality, what would you do with that original idea that you just had? Or you've been thinking about for 15, 20, 30 years? What would you do with it? What did you do with it? Well, there we go. I think that brings us to about 13 questions. I think we probably have about 7 more to go, and we'll finish up with that. But go back and look at part 1, the top 3, the significant 7, and now the rest of the questions. Really, if you take this seriously, you will be surprised at what you know about yourself. And as one person said, it's been far better than therapy and a lot cheaper too. I think you might find that true for you too. My name is Stan. I'm the coach man, and I'm the one who spent a good deal of their life, my life, their life, my working with other people with their life, helping them discover what is really important in their lives. You know, I'm the coach man. It's what I do, and I do it well. I could perhaps even help you get on to the radio and do the same kind of things that I do, in which I reach hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of people as a person of influence and a person of wisdom. If you'd like to know how to do that, I'm the Stan the broadcast man, and Stan the coach man, and Stan the radio man, and I always am the man who has a plan. So there we go. Thank you for your time. A little bit choked up, but that'll come and go. But I appreciate you and wish you all the best. And I hope to see you next time as we finish up the 20 questions that'll make you one of the most focused persons on planet Earth.